Hello and welcome. And on today's live stream, a catch up on some of the new stuff going on around the RP2340 and PCBA, so PCB assembly, RP2040 upgrades. That was quite exciting news coming up, and some changes around FreeRTOS support that's going on around the RP2040 and RP2350. Plus about chat about my own projects, of course. Possibly a live demo if I'm brave as well, and we can make this as fun as possible. And I'll give, of course, my normal behind the scenes view of what's really going on my channel and how his life is going. So hope you're all well, hope you're good. I'm doing things a little bit differently for this session with how I've configured technology. So hopefully the gods of technology are going to be kind and everything is going to be working okay. So please do drop any messages into the chat if things are not working out and you notice any problems or things. It's always good to know what's going on and to get some feedback. So thank you very much everyone for joining. I appreciate it. So thank you very much for joining. This is my live stream. It's a little bit more relaxed than some of my regular sessions and regular conversations that we have on the channel. It's about me sort of giving a little bit more of an interactive session. So hopefully for you guys, and hopefully we can all chat interactively and see how things go. So please do use the chat service and we can see how the session goes. If it's your first time joining, thank you very much for coming along. And if you're a returning visitor and you've been here before, thank you very much for coming back. I do appreciate it. Please do like and subscribe to my channel for all the other exciting stuff I get up to. Some of which is a little bit more professionally produced than my live stream, which, you know, they're what they are. So, how are you all doing? I hope you're doing well. Hope things are all going well. You know, how's the projects going? Because projects are always fun. I know some of my stuff goes well, some of my stuff doesn't. I'm described it on a video that's upcoming actually as playing Snakes and Ladders, if you know that game, Snakes and Ladders, where sometimes the project goes really well and you go up a few ladders, and other times it doesn't and you go all the way back to the beginning. That's how life seems to go. It's all fun. So hopefully things are going well with you, and I'd love to see some of your projects, so please do get in touch and let me know some of the stuff you're working on. And yeah, hopefully this new video insert approach using PowerPoint's new Cameo, or not that new, but first time I've used it, Cameo's insert service works for you. It's certainly slightly more scary, me seeing myself talking on the screen, than I normally get, so we'll see how it goes. I'd love to chat to you guys, so if you want to chat after the session, then I will be over on the DevEco Discord server in my own little channel on their server. They're kind enough to host me and look after me over there. Please do come over and chat. I'd really appreciate it. And you know, that's a good place to drop messages if you want to ask questions and things. So I have put the link in the description on the video, so please have a look at that. And also channels that I frequent a lot and are good places to go is the Simple Robotics IO channel. Again, their link is in the description. Go have a look at them. They're a good channel to check out. They're becoming a lot more active than they were. They used to be a little bit passive at the channel and not a lot going on, but they're becoming a lot more active. Certainly a place worth having a look at and going and seeing. So what's on today's show? Well, as normal, I'm going to do my Pico news and updates, followed by some stuff around projects and the projects that I'm working on, and then some stuff around the channel, and I will leave some time for Q&A. I've got some ideas of questions that people have asked on some other channels that I might talk about. If not, I'd love some live questions, so please do hit that chat bot and tell me any questions you'd like me to debate on live. May not get an answer, but you might get some interesting opinions. How's that? Other people might answer too. I'm love this live stream at the moment doesn't have a sponsor. I'd love to have a sponsor for my live stream. Would you or your company like to sponsor my live stream? If you would, please do get in touch. I have a few sponsors that I work with on some of my other channels and videos and projects. Always looking for people just to help get stuff done and get things out and pay the bills. So if that's you and your company would like to get a message out on my channel to the 5,000 of you that are now subscribers, do get in touch and we can make that happen, particularly if it's really relevant to what we talk about here, because I think that's where the best thing is, isn't it, really? So let's get on to the first thing that I want to talk about, really, is the news, what's going on in the Pico ecosystem that I tend to spend most of my time playing around with, or unless most of the time that I tell you about anyway, playing around with. I do a couple of other things as well, but anyway. So big news and thought interesting news was RP2040 PCBA from JCL PCBs. So JCL PCBs are now able to assemble RP23 boards from scratch, which is really quite cool. I haven't yet designed a board from scratch, but that might be something I try, especially if someone else can do the soldering and assembly for me. This is quite nice and quite interesting. Now remember, Raspberry Pi, when they released the RP2350 and the Pico 2, they actually gave out a minimalistic PCB design in KiCad that you can actually download from the Raspberry Pi's site. And so you've got half your design really done already to build out an RP2350 and then get JLC PCBs to assemble it or fabricate it and assemble it. It's interesting, very interesting. Could be some interesting opportunities here for some small hobbyist boards. So like that, keep watching. We'll see what I might be brave and do something, or collaborate with some other people and do something. If you'd like to, get in touch. The other thing that came out actually only a few days ago is an upgrade around RP2040. Well, it's not really an upgrade, it's sort of a recertification. So we've all been running RP2040s at 133 megahertz, unless of course we're overclocking them, for a while. Well, now actually the Pico SDK is actually certified them to run at 200 megahertz, which is quite a significant power and speed improvement. I really quite like that. This could be useful, and it's really quite easy to do because it's just a hash define or a -D on the CMake line of the sys clock megahertz definition, and that is enough to actually allow us to shift speeds from 133 up to 200 megahertz. That gives us quite a big performance impact on the RP2040 and therefore all our Pico boards. Some people on some of the forums were debating that this was quite a while since we, had seen, well, it's taken quite a while for us to actually get this upgrade through and actually have it certified for a 200 megahertz, which I guess it is, but it's still interesting, still useful. It shows how the RP2040 and the Pico 1 still have quite a bit of life and quite a bit of value in how we might use them in the future and stuff. So yeah, good stuff, good to see. So that's I might do a full video on that. If we go back to my calculating the value of pi to 1,000 decimal places, why don't we have a look and see how the performance of that changes? Keep an eye out for that. I'll probably do a video showing this at some point fairly soon. The other bit that's come out, and it's not really come out officially as notification, but it sort of came out more by accident when I started asking a few questions on a few GitHub repos, is that the Raspberry Pi's FreeRTOS fork is actually being deprecated. So if you remember when the RP2040 and Pico 2 launched, they gave us a new repo with a forked version of FreeRTOS kernel on it. And that's absolutely what I've been using for a lot of my projects ever since. They're now actually going to be deprecating that and moving back to the FreeRTOS kernel's full repo. Now, that's going to be a little bit tricky because FreeRTOS is also changing the way that third-party support, such as with things, the Raspberry Pi chips, is actually done, and so they're actually in another repo. So this is all interesting, but it's going to make a slightly lumpy upgrade. So I'm going to explain a little bit about how this is going to happen in a full video coming up quite soon, because I think it deserves a full video. And you know, it's imminent rather than there right now, because this isn't supported in a full release of FreeRTOS kernel. And generally, certainly if I'm working for clients, I work on released versions, so numbered versions, not just the head of a repo. So, you know, it's not in a numbered version, these changes yet. They are just head of a repo, and therefore, in my view, beta and unstable. But yeah, but interesting, it's being deprecated. Interesting, this is the direction. We all should know about it because it's going to affect our project, especially if you, like me, use FreeRTOS kernel a bit. So those were the items of news I discovered this in the last few weeks and thought I would share with you. If there's anything I've missed, please do let me know. It's stuff that should be shared with this audience. I'd love to share it. As I say quite often on this channel, I'm not omnipresent. I don't actually spot everything. I try to spot stuff going on and share it with you guys. But if there's other things I'm missing, please let me know. So that was news, what's going on in the world of projects and stuff that I have done. So normally I start this session by talking about the projects that I've done previously and that I shared in videos with you guys, and I'm going to do nothing less this time. So let's start by plugging stuff that I've looked at. So the first one was, I guess, looking at Mongoose. Mongoose is a web server designed for embedded systems, and it runs really nicely on the Pico and Pico 2. And I did a little demonstration of that. I'm talking to Mongoose guys quite a bit at the moment, and I'm going to do some more stuff with them and do some more videos on their technology and how they work, because I think there's quite a lot of potential. There are some things I've wanted to be able to do with web servers on the Pico and Pico 2 and not really been able to because it's just too hard with native LWIP support. So I'm going to show a few of those off over the next few months. So look out for those. There'll be some more stuff coming up. And if you haven't seen this first one on Mongoose, then go look at it. It's a good little video, I think. And I quite enjoyed the little project. It was also really easy to get going. The other thing I've done, I guess, is, and I guess more at the sort of beginner level, was play around with switches and demonstrate how you just work with switches as a simple input device into your Pico, how you handle things like debouncing and making that work. I tend to do that in software. Yes, you can debounce a bit in hardware, and yes, we all did a bit in hardware back in the day. I'm not sure whether we do that anymore. Does anyone ever bother debouncing in hardware? I suppose a little bit of capacitors just to smooth things out a little bit, but not greatly. The RM2, so as you probably know, the Pico 2 has launched with potentially this sort of slightly undefined thing, and not shared thing, called the RM2 module, which is basically what gives you Wi-Fi, and it's basically the same chips connected in the same way as we have on the Pico W and the Pico 2W. But you can buy it from some suppliers as a separate module. As some people have pointed out, it's not a nice module because it's generally, when you buy it, it's on a breakout board, and that makes life a little bit clunky for some of the purists out there. And I get it, I absolutely understand that. But actually, it's quite interesting, I think, that it's available at all. So using this, we can actually give Wi-Fi and indeed Bluetooth capability to other RP2040 and RP2350 boards. Now, I wouldn't give it to a Pico or a Pico 2. Well, actually, I do in this video, but I mean, there's no point really, because you just buy the W versions. But if I was looking at an RP2040 Touch, so one of those touch screens, things like one of those. Where's the camera? There we go. One of those little touchscreen devices. Then why not? That doesn't come with Wi-Fi built in. I could use one of these chips, and then I could use the approach to Wi-Fi and an LWIP in the SDK directly to actually drive Wi-Fi. Now, I know some people ask me questions around on video of, well, how about, could I give it to other chip types and other things and use that with them, this RM2 module? You could. I can't see why you would, to be honest, because really the advantage is it's pre-integrated into the Pico SDK, and if you're using the Pico SDK and a board that doesn't have Wi-Fi on it, this is how to get Wi-Fi. Anyway, go look at that full video, which I've horribly summarized for you. And finally, I bought one of these 4x4 keypads a while ago, which is a matrix of 16 switches, and just demonstrate how to read that and use it almost as a numeric keypad for entering data into your Pico. That's quite a nice little experiment, just showing how that can be done using interrupts. And working out from the interrupts which of the 4 potential switches that you've actually touched in a row, because the interrupt will tell us which column it is, and then we have to work out which row. I think that's the way around I did it, or the other way around. Anyway, that's basically what you're doing. So that was quite a good fun project. Of course, I'm a little bit further ahead, so I'm busy working on what are the upcoming videos for the next 4 or 5 weeks. And so I've been looking at things like power over USB-C, my little Astro Droid. I'll tell you a bit more about that in a second. We might even, how am I feeling? Am I feeling strong enough to do a demo? Possibly. We'll see. Give that a couple of seconds. About that FreeRTOS change we talked about in the news, I'm going to actually do a full video on that. And also looked at, I'm going to use RP2040 zeros on a few projects coming up, or one project coming up actually, in quite a few places. I like the RP2040 zero because I like that small footprint. But there is a really big problem with it, and that's debugging. There is no SWD port on there. So I've got a strategy for how to get around that. And I'm going to do a video explaining that coming up in a few weeks. So look, keep an eye out for that one. It's a good way of getting around the problem, and we all need debug, I think. Well, I do anyway. So there you go. The other thing I've been spending a lot of time on is my Astro Droid project. So inspired by the wonderful world of Star Wars, I've started and I'm on my early journey towards producing a fairly big robot that's going to be able to wander around, have cameras, do navigation, etc. So navigation, mapping, all of that sort of stuff. That's where my trajectory is. At the moment, it's more looks like that, and let's just cancel sound off that if I can. Let's go sound off. There you go. So as you can see at the moment, it's a skeleton. It hasn't got any clothes on whatsoever, but it can actually move around, and it is working quite well as a three-wheeled little robot wandering around my room. In fact, I can, if you'd like, show that live. Shall we go and look at that live? Go on then. Oh, there we go. So we should be coming back to video about now. Let's see if we're coming back to video. Oh, there we go. So you can now, with any luck, see what's going on. And the next kind of magic thing I need to do is to tell it to move a little bit. So this is all live, scary sort of stuff. So there we go. We are now moving live on air. So yeah, that is absolutely terrifying for me to demonstrate these things live, but that is a ROS2 controlled robot. So I'm actually sending it twist messages live from my terminal, and it's hopefully moving around the screen live and successfully. Right, so yes, I need more cameras. So sorry for doing video live. That's kind of tricky to do live, but there you go. So that's what's going on in my projects. I'd love to know more about your projects and the stuff that you're working on. Please do get in touch and let me know. I'd love to start sharing some of your stuff as well as my stuff. I don't know whether you're all getting very bored looking at my stuff, but I try and do a variety of stuff to entertain, and hopefully it's all good. So let's talk about the channel, what's going on the channel at the moment. So you of course know about my full vlogs. If you don't, where have you been? They go out at 2 p.m. GMT every Thursday, and they're the sort of 20 minutes in-depth look. So there'll be a 20-minute in-depth intro to the robot and my Astro Droid robots, for instance, coming up very soon. That's then on the following Tuesday. I normally am doing a 3-minute summary of that video, just trying to give you the key messages, trying to get that stuff out if you just are time starved and you need to see the stuff quick, or you want to work out whether it's worth actually looking at the full video or not. So that's there for you. I'm changing the format of those, following recommendation by a YouTube guru, to move those from being full sort of normal video format to being a shorts. So they're going into portrait from landscape, and going to try and follow that model and see how that works. I'll see how the viewing counts goes and whether that helps or not. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. It's a bit of an experiment, as all of these things always are. And then, of course, once a month, I'm going to do this live stream. And then in between, I am now starting to do on Sundays some shorts. And they are things like, well, they are a new idea I had, which is to try and a concept of what I'm sort of labeling the insider. So I'm doing a really short video of 1 to 3 minutes, talking a bit, actually often about the Astro Droid project, around what's going on at the moment, where I'm up to, what my challenges are, how it's going. And they're not going to be in-depth, this is how to do it. They're more entertainment of, this is what's really the real side of a hobby builder, and how these sorts of projects go along. So please do tune in and let me know what you think. Is it working or not? At the moment, I think they're probably finding their legs. These things take me a little bit of time to get my get my brain into gear around and get to work, and that's where I am at the moment. But they're fun and they're short, and they take me about 20 minutes to produce. So they're viable for me to do on with everything else as I'm moving through. So that's what I'm going to try and do. I'd love to know what you think. Please do yeah, get in touch. I've said that a lot. So, oh yes, look, there he is. That's what Astro Droid will look like one day. And that's the sort of stuff I'm sharing in the these shorts generally on the Sundays. They're going to be labelled Insider. I think I've called them Maker Insider View at the moment, but they will become the Insider, I think, as we progress. So remember, there is a super thanks button below the video, and on my full videos there's normally a payment link as well. If you'd like to give me a tip, if something I'm doing is actually helpful and helping you out, please do feel free to contribute and help me out. It's always appreciated. I'm using them, or hoping to use them, to get myself to the open source conference in San Francisco, which is in July, and it looks very fun. The other one I'm probably going to try and get to is Maker Central in the UK in Birmingham. That's in May. If you're going to be at either of those, do get in touch. I'd love to meet up with a few of my audience and chat and just, you know, verify that it's not just me, that there are other people who love this stuff too. Please do, yeah, let me know if you're going to either of those two events, or is there any other events happening near you, near me, that we should be supporting. Let me know, and we'll see what I can do on those too. There is, of course, my Udemy courses out there at the moment, from everything from just getting started with the C development environment to how to build some little tiny projects, to how FreeRTOS works, to IoT, using MQTT on the PicoW, and indeed web service clients on the PicoW. I will probably add some courses this year, not quite sure what yet. You will be the first to know when I do. And of course, I do try and provide some content and do exist on all of the other social media channels. Feel free to tap me on the shoulder on those. Remember, Discord is quite a good place to find me and chat to me as well. So we've got to the Q&A portion of the afternoon and the demo. Not seen any live questions yet. I know one of the questions that came in today, actually from one of my students, was I don't want to, how do I summarize it? Yeah, I don't want to have to use the FreeRTOS kernel library from their repo. Why can't I just use a local copy from the SDK? Isn't the FreeRTOS kernel part of the SDK? And to which the answer is, no, it's not. It's not part of the SDK. It's sort of a bit confusing, and I can see why it might be a bit confusing, because the Pico SDK is integrated with the FreeRTOS kernel, and there are lots of hooks and lots of checks to see if you are running FreeRTOS kernel in that, particularly in the LWIP stack, and where we definitely have dedicated support for FreeRTOS kernel. But that doesn't mean that the library itself is there. It's not. You have to use a separate repo for it. So yeah, in case that's confusing, that is, I'm afraid, the answer. Yeah, I'm just looking to see if any other live questions are coming in on chat, and I can't see any at the moment. So that's really the only questions I had this week. So I will wish you all to keep tinkering as always. It's always fun keeping tinkering and all of those projects going. And of course, I'm now going to drop over onto the Dev Eco server, onto my channel there, and I'd love to see you there and love to continue the conversation there. So please jump over, please say hi. Appreciate seeing you there for a few minutes and saying hello, and I will see you next time. We will do another live stream sometime in January, February. What's March? March already. A quarter of the way through the year coming up by that time. So we will see you there. Goodbye for now. Lovely to see you all. And yeah, catch you in a few seconds on the Dev Eco server. Bye-bye.